Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So today's video, as you have seen from the heading, is about the F1, sort of a review or a recap or a discussion on what happened during the race. Now we'll start off first with the Mercedes, as they were back on top again with a 1-2. Yes, that was again Lewis Hamilton first and Bottas second, but although Bottas qualified first, and then we'll come to that again. The first lap was a usual drama and everyone went berserk. Everyone was wanting to make up some places, and in all days Hamilton had a very good start, and then Bottas went on and he was defending it really well with his first position, and he was trying to control Hamilton as much as he could. And in the very second lap, Hamilton tried to overtake him, but Bottas took back the position again. So while all this was going on at the front of the grid, there was something going on at the back, and which was the two Haas. They basically just collided in the very first lap with each other. Magnussen and Grosjean both collided with each other, and and on the 7th lap Grosjean just retired, and on the 8th lap even Magnussen retired with a tire damage and even a body damage. So that was race done for the Haas. Shame it wasn't a rich race for Haas. Okay, so in the front there was Mercedes fighting it out, and then finally Bottas had a control over Hamilton, and then he was having around a second gap in between the two cars. So that was going on in between. After that there was Leclerc and Max. Yes, you probably know this was the best fight, I think, probably of this entire season, where Max Verstappen was really fast and he wanted to pass Ferrari. Now, there's one thing about Ferrari, that all throughout the weekend Ferrari was struggling with their tires, and it was very evident, and they accepted that fact on a Friday after the two practice sessions, that their cars were sort of not really good with their tires. So they were just burning down their tires way too quickly, using up them, and their life was getting over too soon. And so Ferrari started on a soft tires, and Mercedes and pretty much the entire grid started on the medium softs. But as the laps progressed, the Ferrari were obviously going to suffer because of the softs, and then that's what happened. But then Max, who was behind Charles Leclerc, he started chasing him down, and there was this amazing fight that we witnessed for about 5 laps before both of them went into the pits. So Charles Leclerc went into the pits first, and then came Max Verstappen, because obviously he was behind. They both wanted to do an undercut, but what happened after that was super fascinating, because they both came out and Red Bull had a quicker pit stop than the Ferraris, and then that's what happened. And Charles was behind Max, not behind actually, but Max was a meter ahead in the pits, and both were going side by side. And then when they came out, Max actually had a little cold tires, so he couldn't get the grip, and then that is why he couldn't put all the power onto the track, and then that's where he lost the position. And then Charles went ahead, but that was just a brilliant fight, and I hope this comes throughout the other races that we are going to witness in future. So we are almost halfway through now. The next half, I think, is going to be pretty exciting. So yes, so while Bottas and Hamilton were fighting it out, Bottas also went for his regular pit stop because he was first, so he gets the preference. So Hamilton decided that he wanted to stay out on his mediums, and he would still wait. And then disaster. I don't know if it's a disaster for Bottas, obviously, but a lucky chance for Hamilton. And Antonio Giovinazzi from Alfa Romeo, he just slipped on the track, and I think that was on turn 6, and then he went into the gravel, and then he stopped, and the safety car was deployed. Now just about that, Hamilton was about to cross the pit lane, and that's where he took that opportunity and went inside the pit lane, and he took basically a free pit stop. That's where he gained a position, and then Bottas has no answers to that because it was a safety car and everyone had to stick to the speed limits. And Hamilton comes out and he gets the first place, and then that's pretty much it for the entire race. He was first and Bottas was second. Bottas said how come he was behind, but his team told him that he just waited for a longer time, and then the safety car came out, and then but Bottas was pretty positive and he said he would just still fight and go for the first position. So while all this was going on, the safety car drama which was going on, so everyone decided to take a free stop, and then Ferrari decided to pit Vettel, and then Vettel comes out, but instead of doing a double stack, they did not get Charles in, and while at the same time Max went into the pits before Charles and he got another set of hard tires, and then he was out, and poor Charles, he just missed out. Or probably Ferrari just forgot him, but Charles went inside in the next lap while the safety car was still out, and then he comes out behind Max Verstappen. So after this, we reached the mid course of the race, and then again things were starting to get pretty interesting between Ricciardo and Carlos. Now this guy Carlos, no one even mentioned, not even Sky Sports. Come on, you should have shown some footage of him because he was having an amazing race for McLaren. So Carlos went from 13th position that he qualified for to 6th position. So he was 7th, but he was fighting with Ricciardo, and then he overtook Ricciardo, and he went on to the 6th position, and he finished on the 6th position, and that was the most strongest performance. Even in the last race, he did a heroic act of coming from P18 to P8. Yes, if you missed that in the Austrian Grand Prix, he went from P18 to P8, but no one, not even once, the footage was shown about him doing any overtakes. Not even that. There were other guys. There was even, I think, Daniel Kvyat from Toro Rosso. He went from P17 to P9, but again, we did not see any sort of footage of him overtaking anyone. So Kimi Raikkonen finished 8th, but he qualified 12th. So again, there was a lot of racing going on in the midfield and the back end, but all we just saw was, but probably I give Sky Sports some leverage because there was just too much going on, and then there was this drama that unfolded. Now Max Verstappen was catching up with Vettel, who was in 3rd after all the safety car drama. Now Max was really fast. He was fresh on rubber. He was really getting all the grip from his car, and then he made a lunge, and then he finally overtook Vettel. But again, Vettel had the advantage of the slipstream behind him, and then he wanted to again take back the position, and then disaster happened for both the guys, where Vettel was obviously at some fault. As you would have seen, Vettel did not brake, or he just braked too late. He just put his front wing in at the back of Max Verstappen, and then both of them just went into the gravel trap. I mean, Max was thrown off flying, I don't know, like into the gravel trap, where his body works from underneath his car was just being torn apart and being ripped outside and then thrown on the track, while Vettel just had a very minor damage on his front wing. I don't know how that was, but there was only rubber marks on his front wing. But then again, Ferrari decided to pit him and then give him a new front wing as well as tires. So that happened, but Max still continued with his own race without doing any pit stop. But obviously, he was worried about his car having some damage. But then again, it was verified there was no damage. But while in this all fiasco, Charles was behind behind Max, so he overtook him, and even Gasly overtook him. Again, Gasly, what a strong performance. He came into the 4th position, and then I think that's the first time he's beaten Verstappen in about 10 races now. So yeah, that's a brilliant job from him, and I hope he continues being this competitive throughout the rest of the season. So after this, Charles Leclerc was third again, and then he just finished his race in the third place, while Max tried hard, but there was some obvious damage, because of which I think he slowed down, and because his tires had scrubbed during when he went into the gravel trap. So again, that was a problem for him. So Gasly finished fourth and Max finished fifth, while Sainz finished sixth. So I think that was pretty much it from the entire race. And yeah, I think what we missed from the race was Sainz coming on to the P6. There was even Raikkonen in P8 and Kvyat in P9, but obviously we missed all of that action about how they took so many cars in the entire race. I think for me, the driver of the day was Carlos Sainz and even Daniel Kvyat, because both of them did an amazing job. Oh, again, and Lando Norris for some reason couldn't make up any more places, and in fact he ended up in P12, but still a brilliant performance by him considering the other races have been so good. I'm sure he'll just come back with a very strong performance again. Williams were surprisingly 14th and 15th because of the obvious drama between Vettel, and then Vettel was being handed over a penalty of 10 seconds, but because he took a pit stop, so he was pretty much dead last. And then there was Perez again who took a pit stop, so Vettel went P17, and then again 10-second penalty made no difference to his position, so he ended up being P17. And both the Williams were 14 and 15. I think that was one of their best performance throughout this season, and I hope they get more and more of these performances. Anyways, again, the driver of the day for me were Sainz, Kvyat, Charles and Max. All four of them did a splendid job of driving. Shame we couldn't see more footage of the other guys, but if anything is to go by this season, if this continues to be this competitive, I think we are going to have a lot of fun in the rest 10 races or the 11 races that we are at. Anyways, the next race is the German GP, and I think after that we go on a long summer break. But before that, I hope there is some more drama and some more exciting overtakes. I hope you enjoyed this sort of new kind of discussion. Feel free to post your views about the race in the comment section, and we can have a chat about it. So anyways, give it a thumbs up if you like this video, and make sure to share and subscribe for more videos to come. Until we meet next time, bye bye.